Hello. Hi. Hi, Amit.
Hey, Joyce.
I hope I'm doing
Good
this right.
morning.
This is our my first time streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, so I just don't even know. I have so many windows open. It's very, very confusing. But hopefully somebody sees us. Hopefully we're here.
Yes,
Hi, everybody.
we are here, guys.
So I am here with my name is Joyce. I'm in developer relations with Postman. And I'm based in San Francisco. Amit, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. This is Amit here. I'm from Product Support. I'm based out of Auckland, New Zealand, the southern hemisphere of Earth. And yes, it's pretty early out here, 6 a.m. in the morning.
6 a.m. in Auckland. Auckland, is that like the capital?
It's the most populous city. The capital would be
That's
Wellington.
right.
That's a bit down
Yeah.
south. Yes.
So I don't know anything about New Zealand except that's where The Lord of the Rings was filmed.
Yes.
And
That's like a 2 hour drive from here. The
oh, that's cool. Beautiful, beautiful land. That and also anytime you're in Slack, in the Postman Slack, and you make an announcement or something, I notice everyone puts kiwi fruit.
Yes, that's one of the reason because I'm yes down under here
Yeah.
in the Kiwi land.
There's maybe they grow kiwis, maybe there's a kiwi bird. I've seen pictures of a kiwi bird. Not sure why, but we are here with Amit today and we have office hours. So Arlami and I think Raj had office hours for for EMEA APAC earlier. But this is going to be people for Americas and I suppose anybody in I guess New Zealand's APAC as well. So anybody that wants to get up but early in APAC can come watch this office hours. So we're streaming to both YouTube and Twitch today. You'll need to log in to either platform wherever you're watching from to ask questions. So office hours is pretty open format. We don't have anything prepared to show you today. Actually, we do have a couple of things that we have in our back pocket just in case there's crickets
Just
chirping.
in case.
Yeah, but it's really your stream. Welcome everyone. I hope so. I hope people are here. I hope I did this right and I actually pushed the button and people are here.
It'll do.
I wonder if there's a way I
Yes.
can check. Well, somebody will let me know if I'm not actually broadcasting. So go ahead and log into either YouTube or hi Paul. This is Pharrell.
Hey, Paul.
Do you know Pharrell? He's in Liverpool or Manchester. I get those two mixed up. I'm so sorry. Hi, Paul. Welcome. I wonder, Paul answers a lot of questions in our community forum, but I wonder if Paul has a question for us. So if you're logged into YouTube, it looks like Paul's joining us from YouTube or Twitch. Go ahead and throw your questions in the chat. We'll be Liverpool. I work in Manchester.
Liverpool.
Hi, Try My Lumpia from San Francisco. I'm in San Francisco too. And Arlemi's here with us behind the
Yes,
scenes. Yes, we are indeed broadcasting. So go ahead and throw your questions in the chat. It's really first come, first served. Otherwise, Amit and I will just chit chat about New Zealand, the great where the orcs live or the hobbits live. I don't know if they filmed both of those scenes there in New Zealand. Do you know?
Yeah, looks like they did. So most of the shooting was done, I think, in the South Island, where they have like all these mountains and things. So the Eye of Sauron and all that was filmed, I think, there.
So beautiful, that Eye of Sauron. Okay, so
Yeah.
what is your official job title?
So I'm working as a product support manager here, but we are a small team. We all are hands-on, so we all are working here to help our
Yeah.
users, you know.
So
Yeah, so working on the
I
things like that.
I think Chris was on a few weeks ago and he said that there might be a job posting in your team. So if you have a
Oh,
job posting, go ahead and drop a link in the chat.
oh, yes, I should do that. We are actually hiring in three areas at the moment, and New Zealand and Australia are one of those. And apart from that, let me actually just pretty quickly
So
fetch
Postman is
that
hiring
up.
across the board. My team has openings. Your team has openings. We're hiring across the board. So we'll drop a link in the chat to careers if you're job hunting. Try my Lumpia or Paul Farrell if you want to go ahead and ask a question, or if you want to see one of the new features. Hopefully not too new. I hope I know how to answer your questions. And if not, if I don't know how to answer them, we'll just figure it out together. Otherwise, I think Amit, you have something in your back pocket just in case we get crickets, right?
Yes. So there's something that a couple of users had asked us over at, I think at the community forum as well, and at in a support channel as well. And I thought, might be something that we can give it a try today and see if we can solve that.
Okay. How about you go ahead and share your screen, and then I'll switch over so that we can see. And
Sure, man.
Amit is Xcoder. He just posted a link to open
I just
positions.
posted.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Now let
webpage
me
is
just
looking
share.
nice. We have some new pictures of people on that careers page.
And it's totally full of lots of new job listings.
Postman's growing, y'all.
All right, you should be able to see my screen
Okay,
now,
so
the
let me
Postman window.
scooch it over to you're a guest. Okay, I see your dark mode Postman. What are you going to show us?
Awesome. Great. So what we are trying to solve, one of the use cases that we saw was uh, people fetching PDF files or maybe any kind of binary files, and it doesn't really render within Postman itself. And how do you actually write that down so that you can actually view the content? So I think I should have a link here to a PDF file that I have. So I'll basically go ahead and create a collection.
Wait,
See,
what are you trying to do?
so I'm trying to write a PDF file down to my local file system using Postman, and then we should be able to view that file without issues, I hopefully.
So I've
And
I've done
that's the
this
idea.
I've done this before with like basic text files, written a text file to my local file system, but why is this different with a PDF?
Yes, good question. So the reason it's a bit different is because this is a binary file. So if you just, write it down just as a text file, the data actually comes through within Postman as a stream of bytes. So those will be basically some numbers. And so you have to convert them back to ASCII characters and then write those down. So it will create a binary file within your file system, which you can view. So there's a tiny bit tweaking that needs to be done before you write it down to using on your whatever file system you're using.
Okay, so you need to
So
encode it or decode it or recode it or something, right?
yes,
Okay.
something like
Okay.
that. But yeah, it sounds fancy. It's not. So yeah, and it should be pretty straightforward. I'll say read PDF. I think that's that should be it. And I have this very tiny PDF file that I found online that should help us in the demo, I believe. Let me see if I can
What is the
send
PDF?
it. So we'll find out in the end.
Okay.
So if you have a look here, right, like that says, we can actually kind of figure out that it's a PDF file because the header bytes at the very top actually show it's a PDF. But we can't really view it here because we don't have a a pretty print way of viewing that within. It doesn't really render PDFs within Postman yet.
Okay.
And so that's what we are trying to solve here. Um, so what do we do next? Like we got the response for the PDF file here. We have all the bytes available to us. What's next? So let me actually try and find out, what's happening here. So in the test script, let me just within Postman, and I really am digging this autocomplete.
Yeah.
This is so much better. So what we'll do is basically we'll write down the response, or maybe we can actually have a quick look within the integrated
Yeah, and that's new
console.
too, having the console glued
And
to the
that's
bottom.
new. Yes, and it's really awesome, right? I I love this as well. Yep, let me just quickly log this PM response out here, and let's quickly see what all objects do we have available when we get a binary file as a response. So I'll just send this here. I'll open the console again. This is the second one I have, and this is the console log output here. So if you look here, this is the stream that we got back from that API response here, the one out here. And the data, if you look at that, it's actually a stream of bytes, and that's what we are looking at. So this is what would, the idea is that we have the data stream available, and we will try to send it back to a server running locally, where we will try and write this down, and we should be able to then view the contents of this file. So let me real quick run a local server. So let's see. Yes. So I have Apache server running, and pardon me, guys, I'll be using PHP here. If you hate PHP, I'm really sorry about that. it just
Go
it's
ahead.
just
Go
a bit
ahead if you must.
quick. Yep, let me do that. And yep, so I'll create a new file. Maybe I'll open a.
Can you
Maybe
make your
just
VS
create a
Code a bit
folder.
bigger, please?
Yes, I'll make that bigger as well. And
Paul
I'll go
says
to my
PHP
source code.
closes YouTube.
It's just quicker. So I'll just make this folder out here right real quick. We'll open that folder, PDF writer, and then new file. Let's call it writer.php.
I know we're
It's
giving you crap about PHP, but I just do Node all the time, all day, every day. So it's very refreshing to see this new, like a different setup. So please continue.
yeah, sweet. So yeah, it'll be a small script, and pretty straightforward to follow. There's nothing fancy in there. So we should be able to just basically, what I'll be doing is just reading the contents that I'll be sending through to this local server that I'll be running. So let me do that real quick. So what I'll be doing is I'll have this input file handle, which I'll open the contents that I'll be sending in here. So I'll have that's the input file handle that I'll be reading, and I can maybe just say or side error reading file. I just make this window a little bit bigger so that it's much more easier to read.
Or die.
And yes, so it kill when the script dies. That's the message that we'll be printing. So it kind of helps us while when we are debugging,
Yeah.
right? When you are running the script. So that's where it will be useful. So yep, real quick, just this at the moment. And what I have to do is just make this accessible within my local server. So I have this running here, local. This should be here. Yes, where, and yep, I have a couple items already in here, but let me real quick. I'll just create a symlink to the folder that I just created so that it can be served over localhost. So yep, I always forget. So its source file is within.
So you're just running
Yeah.
a server on your local host, and since
Yes.
Postman is connected to the same network, then Postman can access your local file system, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So because Postman is running on the same system as well, so I can ping the localhost. And in theory, you can have this server running anywhere in the world and just post the contents there, and it should be able to write it down to the file. But yep, that's what for us, since it's running locally, so we'll just do that. I'll create a symbolic link. So that's what we should be doing here. And yep, I think we should have that. Yes, out here, if you see at the top, we have that linked. And if I go, let me just actually output something just to make sure it's running. Test, right? So that should be coming back. I'll create a new request here, just real quick, just to make sure it's running. What did I name the endpoint? PDF, right? Right. So if everything's running, we should get test back. Oh no, it sent us the, yeah, because I didn't. Right. I should rename this back to index because so that it gets served, quickly without. Yes, we did get it
Test.
back. First step done. Yes. Sweet. All right. So let's use this endpoint to send back the data that we just got out here. So this stream of bytes looks like which just got open. I'll just scoot up. There we have it. So what do we need to send back in the test script? Once we have the PDF fetched in, we need to send the response dot stream, I believe. Yes. So let's try that.
Ooh, did you see
Just
that
real.
autocomplete? Paul, if you're
Oh
still there, that
yes,
autocomplete is new and it's pretty helpful.
it's very, very helpful. All right, yeah, this looks good. And we will send request to our
So,
server.
so what you're doing is you're trying to access that dash dot PDF endpoint. Sorry, there's a PDF
Yes,
that's being served, and you're accessing it, and then you're drilling down into the response to the stream that we saw in the console. You looked at the
right,
console to look at the way the response was structured, and now you're going to send that
right.
stream over to your local host server to that endpoint slash
That's correct.
PDF dash right. Okay, cool, cool.
That's that's correct. Yes. So we'll be sending this, and I always forget what. I'll just pull up the Sandbox Learning Center API reference real quick. I always forget the syntax. And we should be able to do that real quick.
Paul approves of the autocomplete.
Oh yes, it is.
Are you
It is very, very
are you looking
useful.
for the syntax for how to send the stream data?
No, so I just looking for the syntax for
Got
send
it.
request because I want to make sure I'll actually be sending an object here. So I'll just say rec, and so I'll just let rec. I need to close this down so that the window is a bit bigger. Let rec, and I'll just create a request here real quick.
So
So we need the URL.
PM send request is
Yep.
kind of like, in my mind, it's kind of like an Axios or like a fetch or like an Ajax call. Like it's just a way for you to
Yes,
send another request within the test or
exactly.
pre-request area.
Exactly. Yes, it works like that. It's just an asynchronous call which sends a request to any API endpoint you want within your test or pre-request scripts. And then I'm creating the request object here, and what I need to send back to my server, and the body I would be sending is, I'll make the mode raw, and I'll send the data that we want to send back is I'll just say pm.response.stream. I think that should take care of it. We should be able to find that out pretty
Yeah,
quick.
and I have to say, I've answered a lot of support questions, and a good percentage of them, people are not JSON stringifying and JSON parsing. So that's something good to keep in mind.
Yes, and no semicolon here. All right, and yeah, so we just want to send a request. So I'm not going to do anything here at the moment. And what we can do is go back to our script and see what do we get back. So I'll just write back whatever we get. So, shouldn't be too long. Yep. So let us see if this works here. So I'm reading the file and sending it to this endpoint. And if I open that, if I look back, oh, actually I have to just console log the response to make sure to know what I'm reading, right? Okay. Console.log and response.json. That should be it, I guess.
Okay.
Let's see if you're getting them back or not.
So you're calling your local server with this information, and it's going to echo back to you.
Yeah, something went wrong.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it'll go back. I just need to see what went. I have a typo somewhere, I believe. Oh, yeah, because I'm trying to read that as a JSON. Let me not do that. That was it. Because I'm not actually returning back a JSON yet. So maybe that's why. And I'll just write console.error just to make sure that we did come in here. Yeah. Yep, we are getting that status back, so that was it, and that looks good because we should have, yeah. So we're getting the same data back, so we did get that on our server side as well. So that's good. Now what we can do is, yeah, let's get to writing this file down. So the code should be
So all we've
pretty
done
much
is make a round trip. We've passed the data round trip.
Yeah, that's what I do real quick just to make sure, I'm sending and I'm receiving what
Yeah.
I intended. So yes, I'll create file that I would be writing down. Let's call it.
And while Amit's doing actual work, I will there a couple new people have joined either on YouTube or Twitch, so make sure you log in and ask your questions. We're just working through how to write a binary file to your local file system right now. Amit's writing a PHP. He's running a PHP server, and we're sending it round trip, and now we're actually going to read that data.
Yep, and that's what we are doing right now. So we would be decoding the stream that we just got, and I'll just read the contents of the stream that we opened. So we should have everything inside this JSON variable object. And let me, yep, so what did we send back? So we sent back the stream data. Yeah, I think that's where it should be, the backend as well. I should be sending this instead.
Can you make that the tests window a scotch bigger?
Yes, I need to close this. This looks
Yes,
fully.
thank you.
This
So interestingly, there's a couple things you could do to clean up your space. So you can collapse those code snippets on the right just for more horizontal space if
yeah.
you wanted to. And you can also collapse the collection sidebar. Yeah, collection side view, Paul said, just for a little bit more spaciousness. Otherwise, if you
Yes.
really like that tiny, tiny working space.
Especially when you're working with things zoomed 10x.
Yeah, I
Should
know.
have done
We're
that.
aggressively zoomed here.
Yeah. All right. So let's see if this works, if I'm sending the right data in here or not, right? So I'll just make sure, and I will just echo this JSON object, or I'll actually do a var dump of this one. So this var dump is basically just dumps whatever the content of the variable that we have here. So we should be able to see it in the back as well. Once again, I'll send this real quick. And sorry, I'll open the console again and response just to make sure I got that back or not. Sorry, I'll just need to write this down as well. Got this.
I like the little elephant on your index.php. I wonder what the
Yes,
equivalent
that's
of the other ones are.
yeah, those little elephants are the PHP mascot. That's why those are there. I need to see if I'm getting this back or not.
Do you need help debugging?
I think we are hitting the endpoint as well, and we should be getting to the content back and then point as well. Let me real quick try.
I really want to find out what this
Yeah.
PDF is.
Yes, we are almost there. Let me try writing this down. I think that's a much better way to find out what's going on, right? So let me do this. If I have if I have this in here, right, this is where we should have it, and we're sending the stream. Yeah, we shouldn't be sending this then. And then what I need to do is, because it's a stream of bias, right? So I'll just need to go over that real quick. So just make sure this is what I have. And if I start writing it down, I should be able to see what's coming in here. Right, and this is the part that we were talking about, basically. So what we are doing is converting those bytes that we got to ASCII characters. The CHR function in here is what converts those bytes to those numbers, basically integers, to the actual ASCII characters, so that they get written down to the file as not just numbers but actual binary data. Yeah, that should be it. And let's see if this gets written down properly or not. Otherwise, we will see that in our output. Give it a try. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's a corrupted file. That's some start.
Yay, corrupted
So,
file.
yep. We'll go back real quick here to PDF writer and yep. Well, okay, nothing got written, so let's write this down instead. Whatever we are getting in
Harlemy
here.
is applauding your file type.
I think I'll just write down this in this whatever input we just got. I think that's better. That way we know uh, stream data. So we'll just make it as data and I'll just write the stream data to the file as well. You can just exit here and real quick send. Didn't work. Am I actually even sending the request? Oh, that's a good thing. Did I? Yes, I did send a request. And JSON decode failed because probably I'm just doing something else.
Failed.
Ah, finally. Where was I looking at? So this is good. This looks good. I'm sending the data good. And the request is going good. So I need to go back to, oh, okay. So I need to, oops, what just happened? All right.
So where is it failing? JSON decode?
It's failing at the server side. So it is sending the request from here.
Yeah.
Just need to make sure. Yes, this I shouldn't be doing this because I think I'm reading the wrong. Like I don't have the format right, I believe, most likely. So that's where it was failing. So I shouldn't be doing that. I'll just write this and I should be able to find out what's going on. So I sent it, and now if I look at the response, I should, yeah, because I'm not sending anything back. Oh, my system's getting slow for some reason.
It's this Skype.
Yeah, it is starting to get a bit unresponsive.
Oh, hi, Ankit Jaggi.
Sure.
How are you? If you know PHP, please help us debug. So interestingly, I mean, stuff like this happens all the time. Nothing happens right the first time you write it, but you're logging
Yeah.
to the console. You're inspecting like the response in the Postman console. And I even like your
Yeah.
your die, whatever, messages so you can
Yeah.
see exactly where it dies.
Yes. So I can just send this back and just write this just so that I'm sure that I can basically see. Ah, okay. Yeah. I status so that I can see if I'm getting
Arlemy,
that.
it would not be fun if it worked,
Probably.
but I have my project I want to get to too, so please help us.
All right. Yeah. Looks like we're not sending the right stuff back. Let me try this instead and see if we're sending the right stuff. No, that's strange. We should have been able to send this. I'll write this here as well just to make sure I'm sending the right stuff. And my system's getting real slow now. All right, I just typed a couple of characters, still not getting in here. We'll clear and then send. And oh no.
When my system gets really slow, it's because I've written an infinite loop.
Let me just take a step back and see what I'm doing here. And yeah. Right. Because I think I know what I was doing wrong, maybe. I think I need to send the stream.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can string it. So yeah, the data was there. So just make sure, okay. Our data, that's the request data
90% of the
that we
time,
have.
it's JSON stringify and JSON parse.
Yes. Trying to figure out what we're actually sending back. Okay. I'll send this now again.
And we had a couple new folks join. Remember to log in to either YouTube or Twitch and ask your questions in the chat or help us debug this issue.
I hope I'm using the send request properly here.
Did you look at the documentation?
I think I did, but let me do that real quick once more, just to make sure I'm doing it right. All right, this looks good, this looks good. And we have the JSON data here that we are sending back. And yeah, that should work. I need to check my script again. And some testing. You know, plain old printing stuff. I'll just find out if things are working or not. And let's see. Yeah, so we are hitting the endpoint, that's for sure. It looks like we are not getting the data that was sent. And need to see what's happening here. I figured it out.
What is it?
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
We
You're
had
kidding
it as
me.
get the all time.
I'm very disappointed that our chat didn't tell us that rookie mistake. Wait, let's make sure it works now.
Yeah. No. That was good here. This is good. This was post here, yes. Oh, what I'm doing. Yes, this looks good. Anyone in the chat that can tell us
Wait, no,
why
that
we are
wasn't the
not
issue.
sending the
That wasn't
data?
the issue. False alarm. Please
That wasn't
help. Please help.
false alarm, yes. Why the data isn't getting back to our... Just give me a second here. Let me just real quick Um,
Actually, for the folks in the chat, even if you don't know what the issue is, like maybe some recommendations for how we would go about debugging this would be helpful.
Really helpful. It should have worked.
Works on my machine. Just jokes.
Yeah, works. And especially when you're not live, right? Like it does work that
Yeah.
time.
So you're hitting your local server and
Yeah.
you're accessing the payload.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to access the payload so that, I can actually read. Basically, I'll try to read the input stream that we just got. And I'm actually trying to send it as a raw data. Maybe let me just try sending it maybe that's what I'm doing wrong here. Yeah. So this might actually be,
Not raw.
yeah, not raw.
I'm about to
Might be
spin up an
pre-cooked.
Express server on my side here.
So this should help. And if we have that in the post, no, don't have that here as well. So yeah, let's not send it as a raw. Uh, yeah, the zoom's killing me. I just want to send this data back.
It needs to be body raw.
It needs to be something, I believe. If I just want to send this, if I just want to send this data as a
Okay.
post
Okay.
data, send request, and so
It's so quiet on the chat. No one's asking questions. I wonder if it's because you've scared them, Amit.
oh, just scare them
With this dark mode, this hacker
with dark
hacker script.
We should get there pretty quick. As soon as we are able to just write this file down, that's all we need. Oh man. So I'm just fetching. Yeah. Let's
Are you reading the docs? I'll help read the docs.
yeah, I'm just looking at the docs here at the moment just to make sure I'm sending the data properly. Am I even doing that right?
Can you share the docs on your shared screen? Or is that going to mess up the
Yes.
aggressive zoom?
I have to zoom in here as well.
Okay, so you're looking at the PM send request docs.
Yeah, so I should be able to send the data like
So
this way.
previously you did mode raw, and I think you JSON stringified,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I did. And that should have worked. I'll try that once more. More draw. Is that the right syntax? Is it? I hope it's not something that's not been updated.
You think the documentation is inaccurate?
I hope not.
We have been making a lot of changes and
I do.
enhancements to the sandbox.
Yeah. Because if it was, it should have been. I can actually. Yeah, we are sending the request. Yes, see, it's going through
Okay.
fine, right? And yeah. The only thing is it's not being received at the backend. Why? So if I don't want to send it as a raw, if I just want to send it as, uh, you know, normal data, how do I do that
Is
as a
that
normal post request?
is that second tab there replicating what's being sent in send request?
This one here?
Yeah. Or was it?
No, we were just testing the endpoint at the beginning.
Okay.
I'll just close it maybe. Yeah, we don't need that.
Because
Anyone?
what I would have done
Yeah.
was before you close that tab, is to look at the raw. What is Postman sending raw, and then is there a difference in how pm.send request sends it?
Mm, maybe. Um, because it's sending it fine, looks like, I believe. It's sending, yeah, let me close this here again. Show raw logs.
And in JavaScript, there's like fs dot write stream file, like all these different options. Are you using the right f library
I,
method?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, that should be the one.
Okay.
So even if it's not there, what I can do is maybe I can maybe just print. No, that will be the server. Should have got the request here.
So if you just joined us, feel free to ask your questions in the chat. Alternatively, we're trying to build a local. We're trying to write binary files to our local file system, and we're running into issues. We're passing this information.
I,
What?
I actually just got a quick
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. Sure.
Let's try that. I think that might be easier. So I'll just local PDF write, right? And we're posting a data, and just we'll just post. We won't use send request.
Oh yeah. You could have just
Make it
chained this data.
just make it faster and quicker
Well,
instead
assuming
of
the
trying to
issue is
debug
with
that.
we have the wrong syntax for send request.
Yes, maybe.
Okay, so
So
in
I'll
this
just
first
store it
request, you're
here in collection variable,
storing it. Okay.
right? So we could just do it in one line, but yeah, let it be. And then we will just rename this, say save data, right? And then we can just go ahead and add this in the body as a JSON.
Hi, Hannah Neal. Please help us debug this. I have confidence. I feel like this is going to work.
And this, yes, I'm feeling hopeful as well. Oh, but did we just send the data or not? Let me just send it as, form data instead. Oops, too used to the PHP syntax.
Did you? Okay.
Okay, I need to run this first, so make sure this gets written, and then send this here, and then go back to console. Yeah, that could have been the thing that failed it the first time. And request body. Did we send her? Yeah. Just making sure we're sending data right. Oh, because we have those test script in here still. We don't need these anymore. Yeah. And clear this. Go back to save data. Do I still have that? Where's the get coming from again? Ah, I wonder if that's... Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry guys, looks like it was an issue with the server that I had, and I didn't really figure it out. So Joyce, what was happening was I didn't have this forward slash at the
Oh my.
end, and my server was basically redirecting the request, and the redirect was happening as a get, and that's where it was failing. And so yes, we should be good now, I guess. We do have the data here. I think we don't need to
So do you have to
do
do you
this.
have to split it? Was it an issue with the pm.send request syntax?
And not really. So it was an issue with the server that I
Got
was
it.
running
Yeah.
locally. So I can just do this now, I think, because we have this available here. I can just have the data in here, and hopefully this, we can just JSON decode this. Yep. I should have tested that earlier. But should be real quick now.
I like that we can see a couple different ways to do it because there's many ways to skin a cat, and you can step through everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see if this works. And we actually have type buffer data, so we may have to just yeah, I think this should be it. Hopefully, if everything went fine, not yet. All right, let's send the request and see if things ran. No, we're still not writing. And are we getting the JSON decode error? Actually, good to, we should check that. Yeah, okay. I did something wrong here because I should be saying it as JSON. That's what I was reading here, right? And that should, yes, first check the response before checking if the data got written or not. And there we have it. Let's, I never imagined this would take an hour, but
No one ever does. So what is it?
now, yeah, let's try and open it now. Let's go back to this page. Oh yes, it opens as well. Yay!
I thought this was going to be an exciting PDF. This is like not an exciting PDF.
I'm
Oh
excited
gosh.
that it's opening now. And the entire was so. If someone's actually keen, what really happened was, if I'll just quickly show what the issue
Yeah.
was. So I just removed this leading slash here, and this is basically an issue with my server that I have configured. And if I just send this here, and I go back to the console, and actually let me clear this and then send it once more. And if you have a look, this is my post request that's getting sent. And just at the bottom, you see another same request with a get. So that's basically the redirect that we are getting. If you look at the right corner, we are getting a
Oh.
redirect. And because my server was doing the redirect and it was redirecting as get, it wasn't sending the post data forward. And that's where things were failing. And we were actually debugging at the wrong place. So the postman was sending the data right.
Yeah.
My server wasn't receiving it because of this redirect.
Wow. And then like
So
even in the console, I know there's you can kind of see it like one's a little grayed out and one's like whiter.
yes, so that's the redirect that happened, and then I wasn't paying attention to the get here. Remember when I saw the get here, and I thought because I was sending it as a get
Yeah.
request, and that was like the false alarm, and I didn't really pay attention that a redirect was happening, and that's where things
And
were
I
failing.
wasn't paying
So
attention to the network information over on the side either. Oh,
so these things happen, right? Like that's where you feel that Postman isn't working, but it could be the server.
well, I know I answer a lot of questions where people, I think Chris calls them homework questions, but it's where something's not right and you're not sure if it's because of how Postman operates or if it's because of the,
Mm,
in this case, this was your server, or if it's like a
yeah,
public
exactly.
server or something like that. So it's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
valuable lesson
So
you took us through.
oh yes, and I relearned that again.
Yeah. So
That I need to fix my server
this
as well.
example, I mean, I feel like I wrote a blog post about just how to write basic text files to your local file system, and a lot of people had that need. Are you going to share this as a template or as a blog post or something, or like a little code sample
Yeah, I should,
for
right?
people that want
Yes,
to do
so
PHP?
definitely. So and this can be easily rewritten into as a Node.js script as well. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm reading the all the stream data that we had that's in this array data, and then I'm just iterating over that and converting those to CHR. I think there should be a similar way within Node.js as well. So you basically convert the integer to an ASCII
Yeah.
equivalent, and that's basically it. And you just write that ASCII equivalent to the file, and once it's written, your file should be ready because I just messed it up again. So it's not available. I'll just send and write that again because yeah, there we have it
Hannah would
now.
like you to write a
So
blog
it's
post about that.
yes, blog post it will
You,
be. Oh yes, I just saw that blog
I
post.
think for if we continued this thread, do you know anything about ASCII art?
Oh yes, I actually used to love it. Asking,
That would be awesome if we could read a PDF and
I'm
then
a
like
bit
console log ASCII art of the PDF.
that would be awesome, right? If you can do that. And Chris so is asking, can we preview the PDFs in Postman? Unfortunately, not. And the reason why we have this at the moment. So this is how if you preview it, this is what you'll see. It doesn't really convert it. It doesn't really render. So we don't have an inbuilt render yet. And
What is that,
but
wingdings? That
yeah,
looks like wingdings.
yeah, and these are all the whatever it could convert back to in the ASCII binary data that we have.
Yeah, so Hannah
And
Neal is asking if we can use Postman for something related to avatars or emojis. I feel like we could. If we have like a local server running, we could do like an avatar generator or something, emoji generator.
yeah, emoji generator would be cool, right?
And Ekta is asking for a blog post. So, one of the reasons why you had this idea was because you get this type of question a lot through support channels. And so I think it would be helpful
De-
to document it somewhere.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
So, we are coming to the end of our time together, Amit, and it's probably time for you to go back to sleep because I think if my calculation is correct, it's now 7 a.m. in New Zealand.
It's yes, and unfortunately I can't. I have to do a school run.
Oh, gosh. Uh,
It's gonna be a long
Shinkin
day.
says Pog Champ. I don't know what that means. I feel like that's a game that people play nowadays. But no one asked any specific questions, which I'm really surprised at. So this was just us kind of putzing around building this. And by us, I mean Amit. Amit did everything. I just watched and provided moral support.
My it was my server.
But we got to see a couple features that some people might know about the console. Like the console, I when I spend time in Postman, I spend a lot of my time in the console. There's a slightly different UX for it. You can see it's pinned to the bottom. There's been some enhancements where a lot of that network data, remember we didn't even see that 301 on the side. You are
Yeah,
expanding the request body and the response body. A lot of people spend time there inspecting. We use the sandbox. We use pm.send request. You use variables, a collection variable, so that you could pass data from one request to another. So even though we
that's
kind of
great.
got hung up a little bit on a few issues, I think we did get to see a bunch of cool stuff.
It worked.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah. Okay, so that's all we have for you today for let me go back to side by side so we can see our faces nice and big. We do have another live stream this Thursday. We are going to, if anybody watches The American Office, I've never seen The American Office, but we will be sending out a woof call. If anybody knows what that means, we'll be sending out a woof call with a special guest from a partner company. So stick around for, well, don't stick around. Don't stick around. We're going away now, but we'll come back on Thursday. Okay, so that's all we had for you today. Amit, thank you so much for waking up early. I know this was like butt early for
Thanks.
you.
Oh, this was awesome. I really, yeah, wanted to do this once. So thank you for inviting me here. And thanks everyone for joining
Yeah, and I
us.
know you get to work on a lot of special projects, so we'll invite you back and you can take us through another special project one of these days in the future.
Definitely. Thank
Okay?
you.
I'll talk to you soon. We'll see you on Thursday. Goodbye.
See ya. Bye bye.